Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're featuring the brand Tissot. Tissot was actually one of my very first kind of more expensive watches I ever owned. I actually owned the very first T-Touch when they first came out. It was a bit of a cool watch back in the day. And this one here is part of the same family, so the T-Sport, but this is actually the Seastar 1000. And it's quite a cool looking watch. It's relatively affordable at the £750 mark. Now, it doesn't do anything sort of like out of the ordinary better than anyone else, but with little details, it just kind of elevates it up that little bit more. And I quite, it's nice when you get these little details because all companies don't have to do them. But before I get too far into the review, I've got to say a massive thank you to the team over at First Class Watches. They have been so helpful to the channel. Really nice guys. Well worth popping into the shop and checking them out if you're in the Midlands area. If you're a bit further afield, well, I'll leave a link in the description below to their website and at the bottom of the page now. All I ask is that you please mention the channel when you contact them. So first things first, sizes on this. It's a 14mm bezel size on here because that is the largest point. The case is a little bit smaller than that. The actual thickness of the watch is 12.7mm. The lug to lug is a very wearable 45.5 and the strap size is 20mm on it. Now, the dial itself, it just looks cool. It's got a real nice look to it. You have this kind of graduated grey lines coming down and it gives it a real kind of better than I'd say than pure stark black. It gives it a really interesting dial, the way the hue looks on it. It looks that little bit different. Then you have these applied hour markers and they look really cool on there. They're full of lume. It really does glow quite well, this watch. The actual hands themselves are fully polished. Quite hard to really see that on the camera, but they've all fully polished, look great. Now, one of the nice little treats is you do have the date window down at the 6 o'clock position. That I feel helps keep the symmetry of the watch the same. When you have it over here at a 3 o'clock position, quite often these hour markers, they end up chopping one down, making it smaller, and it never quite looks right. On this, I think they've done a much better job by placing it down there. I love this little detail of the curved chapter ring going on there. I think it really kind of gives it a bit more, it kind of the way it flows the dial out to the edge, it just makes it look that little bit better. You do have the Tissot 1853 when they were first created and the Seastar, all the rest of the text down there. It actually looks like it's kind of, it comes off the dial a little bit. It has a certain amount of depth to it. So one of those things. The crystal on here is a sapphire crystal and I believe it does have AR coating on there because it's doing a very good job of actually stopping the reflections. One thing I should point out, it's always nice when you see the little T on the end of the second hand there. It does look quite cool. Now, as we come past that, we have the bezel. Now, due to the coin edge work on there, it's very easy to purchase. Let's have a listen. Nice positive sound, back play. A tiny bit. It tends to spring back as soon as you change it. There's that little bit, boom, and it goes back. Overall, it sounds quite good. Does it line up? I would say it's a fraction, just a tiny fraction off to the side. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I just think it's a tiny bit. But yeah, it's either here or there. I'm probably being far too picky with it. Now, the actual insert here, I wasn't sure what it was. I tested it. It's definitely not a ceramic. I think it's it could be a crystal insert. If anyone knows, please let me know in the comments below. So I'm not quite sure on that one, but it looks good. It looks in keeping. This kind of grayscale matches the grey on the dial. I think it does look pretty cool. Now, when you come round to the case here, we have these lovely little details. The way they've sculpted out the inner section there, leaving these raised slips. And again, you've got, it's not just all black. This is more like a grey hue to it. So you've got the black going on there and the grey in between. It makes the watch look lighter. It sounds funny, but you don't just read one slab side. You actually read for different layers there, and it makes it look slimmer for it. Now, as we come around here, the connection between the end links and the actual lugs does look pretty good there. They're very much spot on. You do have vertical brushing going on there. Overall, I really do quite like. I think the details are quite good. The crown here, you have a little sign crown. Is it a screw down crown? Yeah, of course. This is, after all, a 300-meter diver, which is 1,000 foot. That pops out. Screw it back in. No problem at all. Now, when you come to the back, you're greeted with a display case back there. I personally like this because I like to be able to see the movement, see what's going on. Now, the movement in here is the Powermatic 80, but this is the one with how would they phrase it? I think they call high-tech escapement. It's basically, in essence, it looks like a plastic escapement, which always makes it a little bit hard to actually take a time graph of reading. So the reading never does come out very well on these, so I can't tell you a true sort of like reading for that because of the way, I think it's to do with the sound of their actual escape pallet foot moving back and forth on this. Being that it's not metal, you don't get a proper ping each time where it goes tick, tick, tick. That's why I can't take a full one. Is it a problem for the user to have that? Probably not. It just means that when you come to service this watch, it has to go back to Tissot most probably to get it serviced, because it's not the kind of thing a third-party company would be able to replace. Now, the bracelet on this one. The bracelet is very nice. It's got this oyster style on here. You do have a slight different. You have a real polished inner section, inner links. And I think it looks really, really cool how they've done it. How long the PVD coating would stay, I don't know, but this is one of those watches, I reckon if you picked up some scuffs and marks, it would look even better for it. Now, the clasp on here, as you can see, I've left the stickers on. Let's open it up. It is a milled clasp there. You do have 3 levels of micro adjustment back there. Let me put it on my wrist so you got an idea how it looks. Quick wrist check. I've got the, I can never pronounce this, Alamo, no, Aliman, forget it, I can pronounce it, I've got to figure it out before I actually review the watch. It's an Italian brand, it's new to first class watches. You don't see, I've seen this brand when I was at Watch Pro a year and a half ago and was impressed then, and now I've got one in my hand. I'm really impressed. Bob has got the Sicker Designs X series on there, which is just another cool black watch. Now let's release that, quickly put it on my wrist so you get an idea how it looks. So I've got a 7¼ inch wrist, about 18.5 centimeters, and it sits really comfortable there. You get a lot of extra bracelet on there. So overall, I think it looks quite a cool watch. I think for the money, it's, there's a lot of competition, let's face it, around about £750 mark. But this one, big name. Yeah, but the movement people like with 8 hours of power reserve, decent loom. It looks good. Yeah, can't go wrong really. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this one, but most importantly, you guys stay safe out there. Bye.